So I've decided to change things up a little bit. I'm going to start doing flavor of the month videos. Now, I did miss the whole Power World incursion, so there is that. So I do apologize about that. Right now, the flavor of the month is Helldivers. So I'm going to be covering like the patch notes and maybe some gameplay videos and stuff like that. Elden Ring is the next one I'm looking to cover, but if there's anything in between, if Hellblade 2 provides any opportunity for secrets, puzzles, or stuff like that, I definitely want to make videos on that. But I'm essentially looking for big games to cover as a side to the news coverage, so I'm hoping you're going to enjoy that content. I'm also looking to do Steam Deck reviews. A lot in my Discord have asked me to do some of the PlayStation port reviews to see how they run, what's the best settings and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be looking into that. Obviously, we can't install Xbox games onto the Steam Deck through Game Pass. So until I get an Asus ROG Ally, that's on the back burner. So I am going to reach out to Asus to see if I can pick that up. But that's the plan for future. I did do an interview with Lion Pride Studios, and that was regarding the whole YouTube gig, how to get started, the complications, the difficulties, what works, what doesn't work. Definitely worth a watch. I'm going to have links in the description below for you to go check out. So please do check that out. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, just to listen to as a podcast, as well as, I believe, Amazon. So free links for you to use as you wish, but definitely worth checking out if you are especially interested in YouTube, finding out the ins and outs of what works, what doesn't work, the difficulties that you may encounter. It's worth listening to. Right, on with the actual video. So, as we can see here, we've got a Zubitech, and Zubitech says, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes in at #1 in Japan charts, selling almost 300k in 7 days. The second biggest retail launch on PlayStation 5 yet. PlayStation 5 #2 sells 48k for 7 days, 14k behind Switch. And if we look at this, it was quickly debunked that nearly 300k, because unless people think 262,000 is very close to 300k, they are ways off. And if we look at Remake did 702,000. Obviously, that was available on PS4 and PS5. And Final Fantasy 16 did 336. So it's actually sold less than Final Fantasy 16 in its first 7 days, which is pretty bad. And as you can see, he's not very happy with that. It's a shame. 14k behind the 8-year-old console. And yeah, I actually expected this game to do a lot better. It's got a lot of history behind it. But, you know, this is pretty bad news for Square Enix. And I guess we're going to get the whole this game underperformed coming very soon if the global sales did not match. Now, I do not know if this is inclusive of digital and boxed, but still 262k is, you'd expect more in 7 days. And what's worse is Zubitech decided to try and lie and hide the truth as well. So that's kind of sad. But it actually gets worse, right? Because Ghost of Tsushima yesterday got announced. If you watched my video yesterday, you will have seen it. And Viking decided to go look for some receipts in terms of how people are faring and reacting to this news. They're pretty upset about Ghost of Tsushima PC port on the PlayStation blog. Yeah, and you can see over here Super Saiyan 2023 saying yeah, and then Sony is curious why they don't reach their PS5 sales goal. Thankfully, with key stores, I could rebuy my PlayStation library on Steam very cheap, so I'm ready to abandon this platform, similar how Sony is abandoning it. Nintendo and PC is the way nowadays. Remember how it was PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC when it was all Xbox doing it? Now, they're not even selling these games day and date, right? These games are going, this is 4 years later, and this is still the reaction. Can you imagine if the next, when Wolverine comes along? Not Wolverine, it's going to be Venom, the next game, the next big game. And can you imagine if that goes day and date on PC? I literally think that they're going to lose their mind. I can't see anyway. But you know what won't lose your mind? Is if you're enjoying the content I'm doing, enjoying the diverse content I'm going to start doing on this channel, If you are, hit that like button. We're looking for 300 likes for this video. If you haven't yet subscribed but are a returning viewer, do consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 7,000 subs as my next milestone, but my end of year goal is 10,000 subs. I know we can hit it. I just need your support in order to get there. Right, shameless plug out the way. On with the actual content. So we can see here from Truth Exposed 4, trash. Nix's worst PC dev, only on PlayStation Heritage, ruined for pennies. How you fallen, Sony. Don't forget, Nix's was actually purchased to, do PC ports. That was literally their prime objective. That is their sole existing purpose, to do PC ports of PlayStation games. So I'm really not sure why this is being reacted this way. It's not like their games are going day and date, but even now they are still very upset at the notion that this is happening. Bofa DN777 says PC is getting more first-party games this year than PS5. Nixes can port Horizon Forbidden West and Ghost of Tsushima to PC simultaneously, but we still can't get an Astro port for PSVR 2. What a joke Sony PlayStation has become. And it just continues. Pro Gamer 265446. Can we get something other than boring, useless PC announcements these days? And don't forget, right, the Helldivers update that actually landed recently, that actually was released first on PC and then later released on PlayStation. It wasn't even a simultaneous release. PlayStation got that update first. So are priorities shifting over at PlayStation, in a way that we don't know about? But it continues, right? Magazio. I see PlayStation removed my comment because it's the truth. Don't play us, PlayStation gamers. But when the unthinkable does happen, don't issue an apology crying about the loss of your execs gaming. For everybody looking here, PlayStation and Nintendo became the best because they didn't cater to everyone. PC does not benefit the PlayStation platform community fans. And to be fair, he's right. PlayStation, in a sense, doesn't do anything for PlayStation outside of give them more money to make more games and make more, lavish AAA games because they're making more money. And if the port isn't expensive, then and it sells well as well, then that's a net positive gain. Capcom just gave a raise to all their employees. Turns out if you make good games, people will buy them and you flourish. And we know that people do this in the millions in the first 3 days of the release of a first-party PlayStation game. What happened to you this generation, PlayStation? And as we saw with Final Fantasy VII, after a week, they only managed 262,000 copies sold in Japan alone. I think that's, in Japan alone. We have this one over here. Why should I buy future games on my PS5 and future PlayStation consoles when games get ported to PC? I can wait. They all will get ported anyways. And this is true. Right now, the original headline from a couple years ago that had all the games listed that were on PlayStation, one by one, they've all been checked off. Now, the difference here compared to Xbox is that Xbox delivers them day and date, which in my opinion is worse. This allows Sony to double dip at a later date. Now, the problem with this is that if you don't do it day and date, you don't maximize your sales. Sony knows this. They've seen it with Helldivers, how successful it can be with day and date. So I can see their next single-player game going day and date as well. And that's going to be a minefield I absolutely want to dive into when it does happen. If you see only on PlayStation on a game cover, it means soon on PC, laughs out loud. And it's pretty damning, right, when you're seeing this stuff because, man, this ain't good. I mean, the reaction that is coming, these PlayStation fans are seriously hurt. But you can always trust on Warhammer Dave to come in with the Xbox jive, the Xbox jab, even when, PlayStation fans are really upset. He just has to say, hold my beer, because Xbox fans have it worse. Can't just take the win. I mean, not even sure what type of a win this is, but he still can't take it. Like, at this point, dude, just grow up. But it's interesting, right? This is freaking nuts. Bro is fighting for his life. PC players are the worst. You ruined my life as a PlayStation gamer. You and your port begging has killed the PlayStation. Are you guys happy? You killed millions of players who invested in the best gaming console for only you to go and kill it with your port begging. When will this oppression against PlayStation gamers end? Yeah, these are the same people that are port begging Xbox games, right? Like Starfield, which we're going to get into because Starfield is a game that's of contention again right now for coming end of the year when we already know it's not because it's not in development. But I'm going to cover that in a little bit. But you've got this as well. This is on Steam, and there is a lot of this stuff on Steam. I'm not joking. There is a lot. Don't buy this. Sony is playing with us real fans who bought the game back in 2020. It's a betrayal. We feel stabbed in the back. It's 2020, dude. It's not like it's day and date. Don't support this. Don't buy it. Let them take a loss and regret that decision. No. PC players, what you want to do is absolutely buy this. Just don't buy enough so Sony can see that it would probably have sold more if they released it day and date. That's the trick here, right? You need to make it clear to them that had they sold this day and date, you would have sold more. PlayStation 5 will always be the definitive platform to play Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, buddy, I got like a bit of a newsflash for you. Ray tracing, ultra wide support, 4K 60. It's not the definitive place to play it. It's also got DualSense support as well. So the definitive place to play Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is PC. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I know the truth hurts, but I'm sorry. But this is where it becomes even more salty. Anonymous posts, Nixus employee here. I know of some Sony games coming to PC this year. Ghost of Tsushima has already been scribbled off. Now we know about the news of PSVR 2 going to PC. And Sony has decided that they're going to abandon it on PlayStation and push it to PC because they just can't be bothered with the platform because on the console, it's just not getting the attention they want. And they're not prepared to support it. And they expect other third-party companies to support it. It's a real shame. I think Sony does make great, accessory hardware. But at the end of the day, where they fall like they did with the PSP, the PS Vita, and now the PSVR headsets, is that they lack first-party support. So Gran Turismo 7 being on this list is not unsurprising because of the whole PSVR 2 going to PC. Demon's Souls is huge. That has given people a whole new rise, and people who were potentially getting close to the point where they were going to trigger and get a PS5 to play Demon's Souls, now they probably never will because this list has come out. God of War Ragnarok is another one that's coming over. Tilu Part 2 is a no-brainer. That was always going to happen. All slated for this year. Demon's Souls and Ghost of Tsushima taking so long. Maybe it's the devs' first time making. PC ports. Spider-Man 2 will come in early 2025. Sony's also discussing porting earlier games, Infamous Second Son to PC as well. So you're looking at the whole slate going to PC. They are looking to double dip on that quite well, and it looks like they're going to really go for it. But yeah, this is crazy, right? But on top of this, you've got the Starfield news, and the Starfield news is essentially talking about the game coming to PlayStation September, November, November, December, somewhere like that. The game hasn't started development yet. The game hasn't started production yet. There is no work being done on a PlayStation 5 version. Now, whether you want to believe Jess Corden or not is up to you, but he's made inquiries and it's been confirmed to him that there is no port already in development. Phil Spencer has also confirmed that there is no port in development. And I know people are going to say, well, wasn't there a previous code base for this? That code base is old, really old. It's not usable anymore. They need to refactor that whole thing. And anyway, the Xbox version runs on DirectX, a version of DirectX, right? PlayStation doesn't use DirectX. So it still needs to be refactored over there, and they're going to refactor it based on the latest code. So considering Sea of Thieves took, 14 months to go? You expect Starfield to take less than 14 months? You expect it to take 5 months? Don't be crazy. Don't be stupid. It's going to take a hell of a lot longer than 6 months. So I don't know where this source is getting their source, but it's all fake news. And it will continue to be fake news. And anyone believing in it, I mean, there's only one person generally believing it, and that is Reforge. But we know what Reforge is like, right? He's a bell-ended himself. But, you know, that is it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you believe Starfield is coming this year to PlayStation? What do you think of the Ghost of Tsushima reactions? Crazy, right? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out, and remain legend.